Guys, here is why I can lead. Because I have 1 to 3 minute meal preps. Now, you may be thinking, what's 1 to 3 minute meal preps? Well, it's actually 3 years of your life. You get to have even more by the way you eat. Now, instead of cooking for 3 years, you're just on the stove cooking. That's how many people, on average, within 100 years, and I actually calculated it, within 100 years of a lifespan of a person, they invest 3 years on the cooking stove. And by doing 1 to 3 minute meal preps like I do, I get to have that 3 years and throw it online instead. I get to get that 3 years and throw it into family. Or I get to get that 3 years and spread it apart into all other aspects of life. Okay? Now, that is one way that you can help yourself. You can find all the foods that you need today that you do not need to peel, you do not need to microwave, you can eat on the spot, gives you high plant protein. You do not need to refrigerate, you can take on the go with you, okay? And you don't have to boil and you don't have to fry. That's what I do. I eat on the go, nothing else. I never boil my foods, I never peel my foods, I never refrigerate my foods, I never store my foods in the fridge. I never boil my foods, fry my foods, I never peel my foods, all that kind of stuff, right? There's about 8 ways, okay? So I get to have more fun in my day. I've got so much more time on my hands because each day I have at least 1 hour extra to do whatever I like. On average, today. Based on my lifestyle, the way I was going, I was cooking 30 minutes a day, man. 30 minutes a day, I was cooking. All right. Now, based on 30 minutes, the average person, all right, by my standards and by my statistics and my studies, no university required. All right. This is just based on time. Okay. 30 minutes, calculator. Get your calculator out right now. Type in 30 minutes times 365. Boom, a number drops up, yeah? Whatever number it is. Now, those are the minutes that people say who cook 30 minutes a day are on the stove. Alright? Now, yes, they're still on the stove because the food is cooking. Now, they may leave the food on the stove and go and watch TV. Alright? But their food is still on the stove. Alright? This is based on how long that food is on the stove and how long they're in the kitchen or whatever. Sometimes some people actually cook on the stove and they wait for their food. Alright? Some people cook their food and go somewhere else. Alright? So listen. This is based on just the stove. Alright? How long people's frying pans are on the stove every single year. Now, you got a number. Now divide that by 60 minutes. 60 minutes is 1 hour. Okay? You get a number again. So you go 30 times 365 divided by 60 minutes. Now you get half the number. Now what you do, now you found your hourly rate. How many hours people waste a year cooking on the stove? Okay? Now, go divide by 24. Alright? Now, you may have, say, what? A number, yeah? Maybe 15 days, whatever. Okay? Now, that number, times it by, say, let's just say 7 years. Alright? Go 7 years. 7 years. Let's see how long they are cooking on the stove their whole life. This is just based on a statistic that I ran based on over 100 years, okay? Well, it's based on your lifetime, man, to be honest. Right? This is how I calculated myself. 27, right? It was 15 days roughly, something like that. and I predicted I would live, say, I still predict it. I still predict that I'll live over 100. Okay, so that's 73 years. And it showed up 3 years for myself. Okay, so based on what, 73 years? Okay, because some people don't even cook for themselves anyway. So that's just a little small statistic, okay? But the reason I said this is because having meal preps that you can just get on the fly is a godsend. Do you know why? Because you never have to cook. You never have to fry. You never have to eat unhealthy food. You never have to go to a restaurant to eat. You never have to wait for your food. You just go to the supermarket and boom, guess what? You're eating on the spot. You don't have to go back home and eat. You eat on the go, mate. You go and sit on the park bench and you eat your dinner. Very quick, very nice and effective. Very cost effective and healthy for you in the long run. Boost your finances, boost your health, become vegan, huh? You would love that, trust me. And the reason I say this is because when you want to be an influencer, when you want to be able to speak at live events, you have to have a lot of energy. And the best way to have energy is to be able to eat on the go. To be able to get your food that you need all the time, in any moment of the day. In any moment of the day, to be able to eat right before a speech or whatever. Without cooking, without going to the restaurant, without feeling hungry, okay? And now use hunger to your advantage. Guys, eat less and less. That's what Tony Robbins says. He says, eat less and less in life. Because when you're eating less and less, what's going to happen is you're going to have more energy. He says the body uses and makes your own energy. Your body is the light bulb that creates its own energy, okay? Now, when you have no more bodily energy, you're going to start feeling hungry. But listen, when you do become hungry, make sure that you are eating, okay? But make sure that you're using, he says, use up all your body's energy first. So he says, never eat until you become hungry, okay? Now, some people they eat when they're not hungry, okay? Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night to eat ice cream? I have. I get up and I start eating cream because I was a fatso, all right? Because I needed some saturated fats, which is very unhealthy. But guys, make sure that you are only eating when you have no more bodily energy. Do you get that? And he says, the source of all energy does not come from foods. It comes from your own body. So what does that mean? He says, eat less and less. And when he says eat less and less, he means make sure that you're investing all of your bodily energy first. Make sure that it's empty first. Make sure that your body has run out of energy first and that you're feeling hungry first. He says, if you're not feeling hungry, do not eat. He says, if you can go 24 hours without food, if you can go 7 days a week without food, he says, do it. It's that simple. So he says, that's how you eat less and less. And now he says, when you start eating less and less throughout life, what's going to happen is you gain longevity. Because most of the foods today are very poisonous, okay? Yes, people in restaurants are cooking nice dishes, whatever. But guys, there's so many unhealthy fats that ruin your life, okay? So he says, eat less and less so that you can have more health gain. And it makes sense. That's what I do. That's why I have 1 to 3 minute meal preps. That's why I never eat in restaurants. That was the other one that I forgot to mention. That's why when I go to the supermarket, it's very cost effective for me to eat. I only give max $5 a day for food. How much do you invest in food per day? That's the question. And the only way to find out is to consciously track your money every single day by getting yourself a conscious investor online on an application, and make sure that you're always tracking your investing, guys. Zodiacs, make sure that you're boosting your health and eating less and less like Tony Robbins does.